How can we make gerrymandering illegal nationwide? This is the wrong question. The right question is, how do we make a standardized system for districts in every state such that gerrymandering isn't even possible? There's currently no standard. States just essentially do whatever they want. Making gerrymandering illegal would indicate that there was a righty way to do it instead. That currently doesn't exist. In America, a bill to ban gerrymandering, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/for_the_people_act, nationwide has been proposed multiple times. I'll let you guess who killed the bill every time. Probably by taking district maps away from politicians entirely and giving them to independent commissions. Look up proportional representation. This is the answer. Constitutional amendment. Even if a federal law was made banning partisan gerrymandering, I would fully expect SCOTUS to nullify it. Pass a law where either party can submit a new map if it decreases the amount of surplus votes based on voting precinct information from last election. The lower amount of surplus votes wins. At minimum, this would make every district highly competitive, and because both parties can submit maps and the lower amount wins, we all know it'll be close. It's not a realistic thing, sadly. Even any independent commission will inevitably be at least a little partisan. What could be done is to shrink voting district populations to the point where gerrymandering becomes generally ineffective. The reason gerrymandering has gotten worse over the years is because Congress is capped in size. This was not the case originally. It was changed in the early 1900s. If every 100k people got one representative, you would still have gerrymandering, but it would not be possible to go the extremes we are getting now with over 800k people per representative. Amend the Constitution so the House is a proportional party representation, like most parliaments. Then it will truly represent the people and gerrymandering won't be a thing. Which nation? There's over 190 to choose from. In what nation? It's not a thing in my nation. Impossible. The states run their elections as an individual state. We could pass an act to protect the rights of voters. Honestly, we should use this as an opportunity to implement STV. https://u2.be/L8XOZJCOFI?ne2sp1f16gjca5e, as that would both expand the House, which hasn't been expanded since the 1920s but should be, and introduce actual proportional representation, as well as getting rid of the incentives of gerrymandering. I think we just remove districts. National elections, like president, should be national. Your senators and Congress should be voted on statewide. When we vote for mayor, the voting isn't broken up by individual street or whatever. Basically, if you are elected to a position that is supposed to represent a whole population, then that population should be voting on you as a whole, not random fragmented and manipulated sections. That's the neat part. You don't LMAO. The people who actually have the power to ban it are literally the exact same ones using it to stay in office. NGL, expecting politicians to just willingly vote away their own cheat code is wild. Honestly, the only actual fix is having an independent open source algorithm draw the maps, but good luck getting them to ever sign off on that. You can't. There's always going to be valid arguments that a district would be more representative one way or the other. Part of a solution is limit the shape of a district. Start with a square shape and limit how far from square that it can vary. For districts along the border, take into account that a square isn't possible. Adjust the size of the square until the X amount of people are in it. All district populations must be within a low percentage, say 5 or 10% of each other. Readjust the squares every 5 years if the 5% or 10% isn't maintained. It will require a constitutional amendment. You'll have it wrong. Instead of getting rid of gerrymandering, we need to embrace it and gamify it. The game starts like this. The party in power draws a gerrymandered as fuck map. The minority party selects one district from that map and locks it in. Then they draw a new map that is also gerrymandered as fuck, but includes the locked-in district, then parse it back to the majority. So on and so forth until everything is locked. Our whole government is set up to be adversarial, so why not embrace that for gerrymandering too? We can assume that any neutral or a team solution will end up with loopholes and someone acting in bad faith, so embrace the chaos and throw caution to the wind. Hell, sell tickets to the event, and make it WWE style. Let Kalsher and DraftKings set up betting markets and let the fun begin. Any wires? At the very least I would enjoy the politicos talking about the strategies of map drawing in this system. You might need to specify which nation since it is illegal and impossible in many. Repeal this. https://history.house.gov/permanent-apportionment-act-of-1929/. It would make gerrymandering much more difficult and likely harmful, as leaning districts would constantly swing. What is one person's gerrymander is another person's perfectly reasonable district. As long as we have two main parties, what seems like a fair district to one party will be seen as unfair to the other party. It's not hard if you can measure how much something is gerrymandered. Let both parties come up with a plan and use the one that is less gerrymandered. Both will be fair if the alternative is letting the other party's plan take effect. LOL. The fact that anyone thinks any independent body is ever independent. Congress parses a law. The standard already exists: independent redistricting commissions. The states cheating hardest are exactly the ones refusing to use it. You could do what the rest of the world does, and take elections out of the hands of elected representatives and into the hands of an independent body. They draw the boundaries neutrally. A nationwide ban on gerrymandering would probably require a mix of federal laws, independent redistricting commissions, and court enforcement. Congress could pass rules that require fair district maps using neutral standards like compactness and equal representation. Some people also support amending the Constitution or expanding Supreme Court oversight so partisan gerrymandering can be challenged more effectively. What do the Europeans do? Maybe we could rob something from them? Execute the corrupt government. We need remedies for top-end power. If we can't solve the type of rulings the Supreme Court is making or any of the illegal things the president or any politician do, then nothing will change. Stop voting for anyone who takes corporate money. It starts with abolishing the Electoral College and Senate and properly apportioning the House, statehood for territories and D.C. Wyoming should not have more representation than every U.S. city that has a larger population. Rewind the clock and have Republicans vote yes on the book Democrats try to pass that would have banned gerrymandering. Pass the Congressional Apportionment Amendment. Gerrymandering is essentially pointless if the districts are small enough. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/congressional_apportionment_amendment